Hey, good morning and welcome to High Evolution, episode 144. It's the 22nd day of December. It's a Tuesday, and it's the NBA's opening day for the regular season. Two games on the docket tonight. We have, and I'm drawing a blank. I know we've got the Lakers and Clippers in the nightcap. We've got a doubleheader tonight. The 6 p.m. game. I can't believe I'm forgetting this. The Warriors and Brooklyn Nets tip off the season at 6 p.m. tonight, followed by the Battle of LA, Los Angeles Lakers versus the Los Angeles Clippers, following the first game tonight. So I'm looking forward to it. First time, and I've talked about it ad nauseum. I'm looking forward to it. Long story short, you've heard the story before. I'm back to the NBA. I have 3 more unopened sets from the Target exclusive NBA Hoops premium stock. I'll be opening those. The remaining 3 I have here. I'll be opening those up tonight for the Pulsar packs. I'll be listing some auctions. I have some rookie auctions ending tonight. So going to have some fun with basketball cards tonight. I did order 3 additional sets off eBay. Those are still stuck in transit, haven't moved. I checked my tracking this morning. I think I have 4 or 5 packages out. None of them have been updated in days. I think the most recent movement on a tracking was December 18th, so 4 days ago. I've got a package that's been sitting in North Carolina since December 10th, going on 2 weeks. I've got a package that's been sitting in Milwaukee, 90 minutes away from my house, since December 17th, so 5 days sitting in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Oy, oy, oy. Delays. Fortunately, and every time I say this, I have to knock on wood somewhere around here. I haven't had too many delays lately. In comparison with how many shipments I send out. This month I've had the most refunds and people reaching out, buyers reaching out, asking if I've shipped, more so than probably the rest of the year combined. But I've also I've shipped out a ton of stuff. So fortunately, I'm not being inundated. And fortunately, now that we're this close to Christmas, hopefully things start to loosen up and break up and get things moving again. So that's for that. So speaking of the mail, I did receive 2 packages in the mail yesterday. Thanks to Jeff. Jeff is here in Wisconsin. He's up in Manitowoc. I had posted about 2 weeks ago that I bought some Door County Highlander Grog coffee. So it was delicious. I already went through the bag that I bought. I actually bought another Door County coffee that I've been drinking the last few days. I can't remember the name of it, but it's also good. So Jeff said the best grog in Wisconsin comes from a place in Green Bay. So he actually sent me 2 packets of coffee from this particular shop in Green Bay. I'm going to save that. That's going to be my Christmas treat, probably Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for those. So thanks, Jeff. He also sent some Cubs cards, including this USA Baseball 15U from 2019, Nico Horner. Couple Panini contenders, Chris Bryant. One's the green foil. Chris Bryant, Ginter X. We've got a Prism Stargazing Anthony Rizzo, Ben Baller Chrome Anthony Rizzo, got a Nico Horner Bowman rookie card, Nico Horner Topps Archives rookie. Love the die cuts from the mid 2000s, 08 Kerry Wood, Mr. Sunshine Ernie Banks, and a couple of Bowman Platinum Javi and Rizzo. So thank you, Jeff, for the cards and coffee. Also received a Mailday from New York, Mr. Bennett in New York. His package, almost 80 cards, 78 cards in his package, including a Greg Maddux, the classic 87 Topps traded rookie, I love 87. I love the blue. That's my favorite Cubs uniform. Are those blue uniforms with the big Cubs logo, and the Cubby bear on the sleeve. My favorite of all time Cubs jerseys. And the blue just really pops on the wood grain border. Love the 87 tops. So also in there was this Sammy Sosa. Now this is super thick. It's from 2001, Hobby Masters insert. So cool Sammy Sosa card. So total of 90 cards in yesterday's mail. So that puts my total 524,543. So getting close to 525,000 Cubs cards. What else did I want to talk about? Tecmo Super Bowl. So for some reason, so I randomly stumbled upon my alma mater, Western Illinois University, home of the Leathernecks. I was checking out their baseball roster, and they have a player named Thurman Thomas III on the baseball team. He's an outfielder, freshman outfielder. So I thought, obviously, the name Thurman Thomas. So I checked out his bio. He's from Buffalo, New York. Thurman Thomas III from Buffalo, New York. It's got to be, sure enough, his bio, son of Thurman Thomas, former Buffalo Bills running back, played 13 seasons in the NFL. So Thurman Thomas III, son of Thurman Thomas, plays baseball at the Division I level for Western Illinois. Got me thinking about Tecmo Super Bowl because Thurman Thomas, one of my favorite running backs. The Bills are one of my favorite teams to play with. Obviously, the Raiders are number one because you've got Bo Jackson, and they've got a pretty good defense with Howie Long at linebacker. But everybody wants to be the Raiders on Tecmo Super Bowl. My choice has always been, I have loved playing with the Kansas City Chiefs. Christian Okoye is a poor man's Bo Jackson. Nobody matches Bo Jackson in the game, but Christian Okoye comes close. He is vastly underrated in my belief in that game. And I love the Chiefs because they also have that offense-defense combo, which is critical on defense in trying to block those extra points. Because extra points are money if you have a slow linebacker in that hole where you can get through to block the extra point. And Derek Thomas at linebacker for the Chiefs can do that. So the Kansas City Chiefs are my favorite team to play with on Tecmo Super Bowl. We used to have a rule. So I grew up a Tecmo Super Bowl. It was actually one of my Christmas gifts. No, Zach, what's up? I did not rip into Tecmo Super Bowl early and play it. I was only, I think, 9. So Christmas 91. 91 is when Tecmo Super Bowl came out. There's a Tecmo Super Bowl or a Tecmo Bowl that came out, I think, in like 89. And that game does have Walter Payton. It only has, I believe, 8 or 16 of the NFL teams. Definitely not as good. Doesn't even come close to Tecmo Super Bowl released in 91. So that was one of my Christmas gifts in 1991. That was a great Christmas. Enter Sandman, or not Enter Sandman, the Black Album, Metallica. I had that in my stocking. Home Alone on VHS. How about that? How about that pair for a 9-year-old? Metallica's Black Album and Home Alone on VHS, and my first hobby box 91 Upper Deck Football. So Tecmo Super Bowl was playing it often. So as a kid, we would always play it, and even into high school in the late 90s. We would one of my best friends, he was best man in my wedding, Scott, lived right across the street from me growing up. After basketball practice, we would go to Scott's house, and he had like half of his kitchen, his mom had candy in like every nook and cranny. There was candy everywhere. So we loved going to Scott's house after school and after basketball practice because there was candy and Nintendo. So we would play, even though in the late 90s, by this time, I think even PlayStation was around, we would play the old classic NES, and Tecmo Super Bowl was our jam. But we had a rule, like you could not play the Raiders. We would do like tournaments, but nobody could be the Raiders. So, and then we like drafted our teams, like, okay, flip a coin, who gets to pick, so we had that was like a long standing rule that you could not be the Raiders on Tecmo Super Bowl. It is an unfair advantage with Bo Jackson. So love Tecmo Super Bowl. I want to play it. Zach says it would cost me about $175 to buy Nintendo and Tecmo Super Bowl. Tempted. I will need to shop for that during Christmas time. Zach, here's a tip. There are like faux Nintendos. And I actually bought one. We had a really bad snowstorm. Like, I was living in Illinois still 10 years ago. And I bought it's basically a Nintendo cartridge player. And this was 10 years ago. It was like $20. And I'm sure you can still get them pretty cheap. So look for, you can play them online. You got to have the original game though on the TV. So, and the other problem is you have to get like an adapter to play them on unless you have like an old tube TV from the 90s. They won't play on modern smart TVs. So you have to get like an HDMI adapter for the Nintendo. So that's another cost. So if you find one of the cartridge players, if you don't have to have the original NES gaming system, you can have these players. And I paid like $20 10 years ago for one of these knockoff, and they're really cheap. So you have to be very careful with them because they're very light. I bet they weigh 2 pounds. I mean, they're so light. They're super small. They're like a fifth the size of the actual NES gaming system. But they play the actual Nintendo cartridges, the original Nintendo cartridges. So if you go online, and I see them on Facebook Marketplace sometimes, on eBay, the actual Nintendo gaming systems to buy them now costs more than what they did back in 1989. They sell for like $150, $200. And in Tecmo Super Bowl as a game is hard to find for like less than 25, I think. I think that it sells for like 25 to $50. So yeah, it can be an expensive endeavor, but look into like the cheap consoles, super small. They have the original controllers. I think, may have to check on this. I can't remember what the controllers were. I think they were their own controllers with the system. It came with 2 controllers, but it wasn't the original like square rectangle ones that like gave you arthritis after 6 hours of playing with your friends. So there are some options that you can get that cost down. I think there may be, I don't know if Tecmo Super Bowl is among any of the I don't know what they call it, where there's like 80 games. There's some of those out there. I don't know if Tecmo Super Bowl is on any. I haven't looked up because what happens is I'll invest this money on a gaming system, and then I play it for like 3 days, and then I have my fill. And that's what happened 10 years ago. Fortunately, I spent $20 for the console. I went to our local like record shop, and they sold used video games. I bought Double Dribble, and I think a Excite Bike, and I can't, like one other game, and they were like $3-4 a piece. So I had invested less than $50. I played it for like 3 days during the blizzard. Everything opened back up, and I was back to doing normal things, and never played it again. I think I actually, like in my move, I think it broke because it's so light. I think I ended up just, having to throw it away. So there are some alternatives to get that cost down on buying that. So I tweeted out my favorite running backs, and I'll just quickly go over those. So Bo Jackson, obviously, runaway favorite, number 1, unanimous, Tecmo Super Bowl Hall of Famer. Christian Okoye, number 2, Chiefs. It's that inside-out combo, offense-defense combo that I love, and that's probably why I have Okoye on a pedestal. Number 3, I went with Thurman Thomas. He's great on the Buffalo Bills. Bruce Smith, I think, is the linebacker, or maybe Shane Conlon, to block those extra points. Not quite as good on the defensive side as far as blocking extra points like Howie Long and Derek Thomas, but still solid. And Jim Kelly and Andre Wright. And see, the Buffalo Bills, they have that passing combo. You don't have that with the Raiders and Chiefs, although Willie Gault is really good for the Raiders. And who's the Jay Schrader, I think, is the quarterback for the Raiders. The Chiefs have, is it Steve DeBerg? And I can't remember any of their wide receivers. So the Chiefs don't have a good passing game. Bills have a great passing game. Jim Kelly to Andre Rison. Number 4, I went with Barry Sanders because they have a weak passing game and a weak defense. So that like knocks points off. And Barry Sanders isn't like Barry Sanders as a running back should be like Bo Jackson. But again, these are going off like 1990, and Barry Sanders hadn't become Barry Sanders when this game was made. So I guess I can give them credit for that. So Barry Sanders I had ranked 4th. Their passing game kind of stinks. I'm trying to think who the quarterback was for the Lions in the early 90s. I can't remember. This is going to kill me. I'm going to have to Google it. And I can't remember any wide receivers either from the early 90s for the Lions. Anyway, 5, Neil Anderson. So you've got Neil Anderson, Chicago Bears. He was a really good running back. The Bears passing game, I think Jim Harbaugh might still be the quarterback for the Bears. Wide receivers, Zach can help me out here. Who were the wide receivers for the Bears? Ron Morris, I think, was one of the wide receivers. Johnny Bailey is a decent running back as a plan B to Neil Anderson. And then on the defensive side, you had for the Bears, I think Richard Dent was in that linebacker spot to block extra points, and he was pretty solid. Maybe top 5, probably more so top 10. But so that was my Tecmo Super Bowl rankings for running backs. One other thing I wanted to talk about. No, that was it. I just wanted to talk about the NBA, Tecmo Super Bowl, and my mail. So that's all I had for today. I listed some more stuff last night, my eBay store. I've got some auctions. So if you're looking for some basketball cards, I've got rookie auctions ending tonight, and then I'll have some auctions beginning tonight. Wendell Davis. Yes, thank you. Wendell Davis. So I'll be ripping those premium stock NBA hoops pulsars tonight. And the Lions had Jerry Ball. Yeah, Jerry Ball was good. Jerry Ball was he the linebacker that you could rush the kicker to block extra points? I think so, because I do remember Jerry Ball being pretty good on the game. So that is what I had for today. Zach, awesome talking some Tecmo Super Bowl. I actually, speaking of Tecmo Super Bowl, there's like a cult following for Tecmo. They have like regional tournaments, national tournaments. It's like there's this huge, a friend of mine was on a documentary. I think it was NFL Films, NFL Network did a documentary on Tecmo Super Bowl and these tournaments. And a friend of mine, he lives in Ohio. He lived in Macomb, Illinois for a couple of years, worked in the newspaper, was a sports writer. Chris Vogt. Chris and 2 of his brothers are like top ranked Tecmo Super Bowl players. They host a tournament in, I think, the like Cincinnati or Cleveland area. And then they come out here. Madison, Wisconsin has a big tournament. I think Green Bay has a big tournament every year. I have another friend, a really good friend since college. He gets into the tournaments. He's not as good as these guys, but you can go. He's been on the rankings, and actually we were funny story before I go. My coworkers and I, this was like 5 years ago, talking about Tecmo Super Bowl and in these tournaments because the Madison tournament was coming up. And one of my coworkers that I was talking with said, "Yeah, I've got a buddy. He plays in all these tournaments." And so and I'm like, "I've got a buddy that plays in these tournaments." So we texted our friends found out their usernames and looked them up. They had actually played each other in one of these tournaments. How cool is that? Like just random, just ran out of all the tournaments and out of all the players, my friend and his friend had actually played each other in one of the tournaments. So funny stuff. There's like it's a cult following for real, like big time Tecmo Super Bowl. I am nowhere. Last March Madness, I went to his place for the weekend to watch the games, and we would play, and he just freaking kills me like 42-14. And I think I'm a decent Tecmo player until you play like a top-notch player. It's like, wow, they're good. Like they know how to pick plays. They know. It's crazy. So that's all I had today. Thanks for tuning in. New blog posts are up, 1millioncubs.com. I was doing some nerd research over the weekend, got down a rabbit hole. I uncovered an article that Topps made a movie in the 1960s. They made a movie. It's a short film, and it's an educational film with an action-adventure plot. So I wrote about that. 1millioncubs.com. It's the latest blog post. Topps made a movie in 1968. That's on there. And also my review of 2020 Bowman Draft. My box break and review is also posted. 2 articles. Holy cow. 1millioncubs.com. eBay store link, top of that page. You can also access it 99centcards.com. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Tuesday.